Am I the jerk for wanting to break up with my girlfriend because I heard her say she only started dating me as a dare? Posted by you/throwaway@985858. Never thought I'd have to use this old account, but I'm really stuck and need some advice before I potentially nuke what has, so far, been a good 8-month relationship. So, for a quick background, my girlfriend, 24F, and I, 27M, have been dating for around 8 months now. I first met her at a funeral, of all places. I wasn't close to the deceased, they were a friend's uncle, I was just along to keep him company. In any case, I wasn't particularly sad looking. I was talking with a family friend and smiling, which she noticed before making a pretty morbid joke, asking if I had put him in the casket. It was so blunt that I just sort of snort laughed, and we ended up chatting all afternoon, with her number in my phone by the end of it. She was funny, witty, pretty, and a genuinely fun girl to be around. So, of course, I took a chance and asked her out, which she accepted rather eagerly. My ego was through the roof at that. But little did I know. I came home a little earlier from work last night, I was covering a shift, and the bloke I was covering for came in anyway, so they didn't need me for the full 8 hours. Anyway, I got home earlier than planned and overheard my girlfriend laughing with someone on her phone. I was about to surprise her with a little jump scare when she said, and I quote, "I never meant for this whole thing with Op to last so long. I'd never normally date someone like him." She spotted me shortly after saying that. I admit, I made a noise I can't even begin to explain, and she heard me. I'd never seen someone go that pale before. She was all wide, teary eyes and quivering lips. My girlfriend then spent the next hour or so confessing that she never planned to date me, but once her friends found out she'd given me her number, they found a pic of me online and apparently thought I was so hilariously unattractive that she just had to fake date me for a week to give me hope. I wish I were joking. Her friends, and apparently my girlfriend, are all still stuck in their mean girl high school phase. She agreed but, I guess, apparently forgot about it because we'd been dating for 8 months, not 1 week. She told me that she was stupid for agreeing to it, that I was a really good bloke, and that she really did love me, but she never expected to actually feel that way about me. Why? Because I'm not her usual type of guy. When I asked her to elaborate, she mumbled that she didn't initially find me attractive at all, but after dating for a few weeks, she stopped caring about my looks. I admit I sort of lost my temper here and called her an immature waste of my time. I told her I wished she'd just dumped me a week into dating because finding all this out 8 months in, when I cared about her, loved her, was effing foul. I'm staying with my mom at the moment because I need space to think and vent. Would I be the jerk if I dumped my girlfriend for this? Relevant comments. Commenter. Is she still friends with all those mean girls? Op's response. Given that she was chatting with one of them yesterday, yeah, I think so. Commenter 2. Even if you didn't care about the joke part of it, she didn't go out with you because she wanted to but because she was pushed by her friends. And then what? Did she give a play-by-play after your first date to those friends? Did she share your intimate moments with them? Was your first kiss also a joke? Was she hesitant to kiss you because of the joke? Did she even want to kiss you? It's thoughts like that that would drive me nuts because, at what point did her joke turn into real affection? Or was she cringing and flinching during those first few dates? How can you be with someone who thought you were gross for how long? Weeks? Days? Op's response. That's the same thing on my mind. I mean, she didn't act strange or hesitant when we started dating. She was funny and cute and even insisted we hold hands on our second date. But was it all just a funny story to tell her friends? Was she laughing at how pathetically happy I was to be dating someone out of my league? I dunno. It's driving me insane thinking about it. I've already thrown up, I just feel sick, tired, and used. Commenter 3. Given everything you've said, I can guarantee that woman isn't out of your league, she's very much beneath you. She's not even sorry, she just seems to think you should be grateful that she stopped caring about how you look, WTF, and is trying to justify her crappy behavior. Even if you somehow forgave her, you'd never be able to forget. Cut your losses, be careful in the future, but don't let it stop you from finding a real relationship with someone who doesn't think hurting people is a joke. Op adds an edit to his post. So, I've turned my phone back on, and it's a mess of texts, voicemails, and missed calls. I've only listened to a couple, but she's absolutely sobbing her heart out and pleading for me to come home so she can explain. Nothing from her friends, mind you, just her. Says it all, really. No idea what to do, but now I feel like rubbish. Update 2 days later. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented, the good, the bad, and the downright bizarre. Now, on to the update. I eventually turned my phone back on after making the original post and was bombarded with voicemails, texts, and whatnot. I only listened to a couple, and my girlfriend was sobbing her heart out in all of them, more or less begging me to come home and let her explain. To be fair, I didn't really have much choice but to eventually go back home anyway. It's a house share, and I pay rent to live there. Plus, my own mom was basically nudging me back out to let her explain herself. So I went back home the next day, and she pretty much tore out of her room and threw herself at me. She was sobbing and trying to talk but kept crying too hard between her words to sound coherent. I know I should have probably been angrier, but I hate seeing her cry. And she wasn't just crying, she was sobbing so hard she was having trouble breathing at a few points. Eventually, I got her to sit down and asked her to explain exactly why I should stay with a woman who not only got with me as a dare but also still laughed about it with her vapid friends 8 months on. A lot was said, and to summarize it so this update doesn't take all night, she more or less said this: fake names for her friends, and I'm likely paraphrasing, but I've spent about 40 minutes trying to remember it exactly, so this is the gist of it. I didn't mean to ask you out on a dare. I wanted to date you before they even knew about you. I gave you my number first, remember? When Stacy and Tina found out I gave you my number, they looked you up on Facebook and found it hilarious that you were even trying with me. So they came up with this stupid effing dare and told me to do it to give all uglies in the world hope. Me, wow, real mature. You do remember what you said on the phone to whoever it was, right? That you never meant for us to last this long? You told me I wasn't your type? What's your type, then? Not me, right? Too ugly for you? Stop saying that. You're not ugly. You're just not the type of bloke I would have picked to date long term. But I was wrong, babe. Look at us, we've lasted nearly 9 months. I love you so much, I really do. How can I prove it to you? How? Me, I don't know. I love you too. But all I can think about is you laughing about me behind my back to them. How can I trust you anymore? I wasn't meaningfully laughing at you. I swear I wasn't. I just don't know how to handle Tina any other way. She's always been like this, and I just go along with it to keep the peace. Me, so you'd rather keep the peace than stand up for me? Is that what you're saying? You're twisting my words, babe. Me, no, I'm not. God, why should I stay with you? Seriously, give me a reason. You laughed behind my back. You dated me on a dare given to you by Tina and Stacy, right? And you're still friends with them? You chose them and their cruelty over us and what we have? We've been friends for years, though. Me, I effing give up. At this point, it was just a back and forth of me trying to walk away and her professing her love, defending her friendship with the Wonder Twins, and trying to make me sit back down. I don't know, guys. I'm back home, and she's constantly trying to have another talk. I'm tired. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Advice would be wonderful because I'm very tempted to just pack it in. Relevant comments. Commenter. From what I have read, GF failed to resolve the situation. She continues to defend her friends, dismissing their behavior by saying, it's just the way they are. She remains close with these friends, laughs with them at Op's expense, joins in their jokes about him, and allows them to disrespect him without taking any action. Despite all this, she chooses to maintain her friendship with them. To me, this feels like siding with her friends over her boyfriend. Where has she stood up for him? Where has she defended him? Where has she expressed disagreement with the jokes and disrespectful comments aimed at him? I just don't see it. Commenter 2. It's some real have your cake and eat it too attitude. She wants to have him, but she also doesn't want the status quo of her friendship to change, which ensures she will stagnate and become codependent on that friend group despite their toxic attitudes. It's fine to have friends, but it's another thing entirely when your friend group encourages the worst in you. Pity dating a dude as a joke and then trying to walk it back with, I was wrong, and I grew to like you, is not the glowing report she thinks it is. As long as she continues making excuses for how her friends are acting, the alleged character growth Op is apparently supposed to see will seem entirely like a lie. It shows an absolute lack of real commitment. Second update 2 days later. This should be the final update, you'll see why. So here it is. I'll be brief with this because, frankly, I'm done with it all. I tried one last time to get any sort of sense from my girlfriend. I sat her down and told her that I'm hurt and beyond disappointed that she didn't have the spine to stand up to her friends, that she'd rather keep the peace than defend the man she repeatedly claims to love. My girlfriend got angry and told me I was putting her in a position she couldn't possibly win. If she stood up to her friends, she'd lose them but keep me. But if she refused, she'd keep them but likely lose me. She told me she genuinely didn't know what the F to do. I said that as long as she's enabling Tina and Stacy's crappy personalities, she'll never stop being their doormat. She just went quiet at that point, said it was only Tina, and then just kind of shrugged. So I told her that the fact she was even struggling to make a choice between them and defending our relationship was enough of an answer for me. I told her that while I'm not the most attractive bloke, she and her friends were far uglier than I could ever be, and I deserved better. So I broke up with her. It was messy, she got physical. Not violent, just grabbing onto me really tight and trying to kiss me while offering sex. She was still full on ugly crying too. It was crazy. I've seen her cry and get mad, but I've never seen her like that before. It genuinely disturbed me. I left, and now I'm back at my mom's for a bit. I know I'm not a kid anymore, I'm 27, but my mom and I have always had a really good relationship, so I told her everything. She listened and didn't interrupt until I was finished. And then she pretty much said what a lot of you told me. She told me I'm handsome, moms always say that, though. She told me that my girlfriend is a silly girl who'll never have any kind of meaningful relationship as long as she lets her friends bully her around. And then she told me that I'm young and that I'll find someone who'll love me so much that she'll fight tooth and nail to defend me. I won't lie, I cried a bit. It felt good to feel worth something for once. I didn't really realize how little I felt that way with my girlfriend until that conversation with mom. She even made me apple crumble, my comfort food. My younger brother, 20M, still lives with her too, and he's been kicking my bum at chess. Bloke's a wizard, I swear. Mom and I had a long chat about my living arrangements and decided that I'm going to move back in with her in a couple of months. I've spoken to the agency, and unfortunately, they won't let me end the contract early without a payout for the remaining months. So I'm just gonna stick around till then and then go. It's gonna be awkward since we have to live in the same house share for a bit longer, but I'll manage. I know some of you really wanted me to work it out with her, but frankly, I have too much self-respect to stay with someone who doesn't care enough to defend me from her friends. Not to mention whatever the hell she was trying to do before I dipped out, it seriously freaked me out. Thanks, Reddit. You all helped me make a choice between staying and sacrificing my self-respect to be with a woman who doesn't truly love me as much as she claimed, or leaving her in the hopes that I'd find someone better one day. I hope I chose right, but I guess only time will tell. Thank you all. Relevant comments. Commenter. The ex is distraught because she cannot bear the embarrassment of being dumped by someone who isn't in her league. Commenter 2. Nah, she genuinely liked Op. She initiated everything, and her friends came in after the fact. She's just a choice away from being happy, but she chose wrong. I think she might try again to choose him, but it's not gonna work, and she's gonna lose her friends too, but that's a good thing. Commenter 3. What gets me is that she's still laughing about it 8 months later. This is why I can't just blame her friends. People tend to be friends because they have things in common, and it seems one thing they all share is that they're still in the mean girl phase. I'd argue that his girlfriend was probably getting out of that phase quicker than her friends, but not quickly enough. Also, it rubs me the wrong way that she was offering to sleep with him so he wouldn't leave. In my experience, it's important to analyze our partner's behavior to a certain extent. I'm not talking about keeping notes or sitting there for hours contemplating what they meant by a random comment, lol. I just mean, going back to the sex thing, I do think she had some feelings for him, but what does that say about her, and what does it say about how she views him? Breaking it down, this is all about respect. That's why he ended things, he respects himself too much to put up with this. She thinks he's the type of guy who will set aside his own self-respect in order to get sex. I know some will say she was upset and desperate. I don't doubt it, but in my experience, it's easy to hide parts of yourself when you're calm and collected. It's a lot easier to slip when you're angry or under duress. To me, a person's true character usually emerges in these moments. And what does it say about her that she views using sex as a valid tactic to keep a guy from leaving? Why do I get the feeling her attitude toward sex has also been influenced by these friends? To be clear, I am not suggesting she is promiscuous. I don't think that's necessarily the case with an attitude like hers. But I do think it shows she has an unhealthy view of how relationships are meant to function. She's young, but not that young. She's 24. To me, peer pressure stops being a valid excuse once someone is no longer a teenager. And if someone disagrees, I'm genuinely curious, at what age would we say it's no longer a good excuse? Sorry this reply got long, lol. She's not the devil or anything, but I don't think she's ready for a serious relationship. She not only needs to get rid of these friends, but she also needs to unlearn some of the things she has picked up from them. I do feel bad for her.